I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like.
You're watching Poindexter Lounge. You already know. You're watching Poindexter Lounge for the unity.
Why don't you set aside an hour or two? We'll have a few drinks and a cup of coffee. I don't drink.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. I'm choking on chicken.
Hey, you're watching Poindexter.
That's great. I don't.
You are watching Poindexter Lounge.
That's great. I don't.
You are watching Poindexter. Thanks for the lights, Jay. Churros and Call of Duty. I smell like onions and you're watching Poindexter.
That's great. I don't.
And now I'll make the point better. This joint's clever. In the lounge with Poindexter. So Poindexter Lounge, you know that we can get it in. And now I'm headed up like I'm Led Zeppelin.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. Do you like nerd stuff? Yeah? Then you'll love this. You never know what might happen or who might show up at the lounge.
I just want to thank you for being here and being my friend. It's always good to have someone you could count on. And I'm glad you're that for me.
That's great. I don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut. To go.
What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. Guess what? It's that time again, folks. It's me, Enosh, and it's the drive home here on the Poindexter Lounge. It is always good to see you guys. Welcome to Monday. Welcome to Eclipse Day Monday here in the United States. Everybody flipping out today about the eclipse. We had about a 90% eclipse here in Michigan. It was interesting. We all went outside, about 3:30, and watched the eclipse. And I saw it a few years ago. I can't remember what year it was. Was it 5 years ago or something like that? We had an eclipse around where I live, and I mean, it was cool. It was cool to see. It's definitely something that's like one of those things that like is worth seeing. People say, hey, look, I saw the eclipse. Of course, lots of jokes about, looking at the sun. You should never look at the sun directly. You should definitely never look at an eclipse. It can hurt you. And we don't want you to get hurt. So I hope that wherever you are, that you were safe today, that maybe if you were in the United States and you were able to view and watch the eclipse, that you had fun doing that. But we're still around, I know a lot of people who were, concerned over what was going to happen because there's an eclipse. I don't know what has happened to the world where like things that are just normal that happen all the time for some reason now get, lumped into these apocalyptical predictions and things. I mean, guys, eclipses happen every few months. To a year or so, a couple of years, whatever, in various parts of the world. Just because it's in the United States does not mean it's something of prophetic importance. It's like these are just naturally occurring things that happen. But I know there's been people that have been flipping out, freaking out, thinking, that everything was going to come to an end, and I really don't know why. I don't understand that, but to each their own, right? But we're here. We're still around. It got really cold. It's so funny because it's been really warm here today in Michigan. And, of course, when the sun started disappearing, it got really, really cold and chilly. But it was fun. So I hope you're having a good time wherever you are. Let's see, what else is going on? I had a great weekend. Had a wonderful weekend, actually. I played a gig on Friday night at a group home for people with brain injuries and spinal cord injuries, and that was really cool. It was like an island-themed party, and I went and played music for the patients and for their families. And man, what a blessing! I love doing things like that. Like I've always loved going and playing for things like that. I mean, obviously I'm a musician and I love performing, so I love performing anywhere. But anytime I've done something like that, it's the second time now I've gone to this particular group home, and it does something to you. It was island theme and stuff, so I was trying to find some songs that I could do, and one of the songs that I did was "Don't Worry, Be Happy," by Bobby McFerrin. And it was funny because I started playing the song, and there was this lady there, this beautiful, beautiful lady, just a wonderful, sweet lady. She started yelling, she's like, "What's your name?" And I told her my name, and she started saying that she loved me and stuff, because she loved the music, and she was smiling, and she was singing, "Don't worry, be happy, ooh, ooh, ooh." ooh. And she was singing along with me, and it was so precious, And then at the end, I went around because they wanted me to sing that song again. It was my first song at the set, but they wanted me to sing it again. And so I went around to each patient and kind of sat there with them and sang the song with them. And it was so, there's something so just heart melting to sit with someone who, is struggling with various, things. And obviously, someone who's had, spinal cord injuries and brain injuries or whatever. They're dealing with some issues, but they're there. They are there, and it was so precious to see some of these people singing along with me, and even the ones who couldn't, the couple who couldn't like verbalize. There's one gentleman, he wasn't verbalizing, but he was following me with his eyes, and he was making sure that I knew that he was there with me, and then there was another gentleman who he made more sounds than he did language, but it was just wonderful to see the smile on his face, and I love doing stuff like that. So that was my Friday night. Saturday was an eventful day. Everything in my house now is mine. That's right. So there was that. She came. We gave her stuff. She left, and so we're good. And new chapter begins. And so still have some things to take care of because things got delayed. But hey, we're good. And so I'm thankful for that. So that happened this weekend. And then 2 nights of WrestleMania, man, with my family. That was awesome. The boys were there, and we had a bunch of friends from church. So we did that Saturday night at our house, and then Sunday night we watched at the church last night on the big screen, and had people over. We had pizza and food and stuff, and so it was really good. And then we had a great church service yesterday. So it was a great weekend. I hope you had a great weekend as well. I hope that wherever you are, that you are safe and sound. That being said, we got stuff to talk about today, and we got some people in the back that we want to bring in. First of all, of course, Mr.
What's up?
Oh, can I hear you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, yeah. Okay. Cool. How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent, bro. I had such a good weekend, man, that I'll tell you what, I have been stoked. I've had so much energy and just excitement, and I just can't wait for what's coming up. I got so many cool things coming up as far as like we got some events coming up, things that we're doing, some community projects and stuff for the church and everything, and I'm just, yeah, man. And I'm here talking to you on a Monday afternoon after I just got out of work on a sunny day. So, there you go.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, you had a lot of milestones completed this weekend.
I certainly did.
Some well-needed closure
yes.
is finally done. And
yes.
time to start the new book.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got one more step in that process. Got one more step. All of her stuff is gone, and now I just have to wait for the final verdict on, everything to actually be like, okay, we're done. And
yeah, but those are like the glossary pages. Those are minute. Those are minute. That's not the story's done. Time.
Yes.
And you're on a new journey, so that's good.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I tell you what, man. I kid you not, man. Something just changed in me and stirred in me a couple of months ago now, and I have not looked back since, man. And I have just been so happy and like genuinely happy. You know what I mean? Like not the hey, I'm still struggling with this, and fighting this on a daily basis, and just trying to get through it. It's like genuinely like I'm not thinking about that anymore.
That's good. That's good.
And any time it comes up or whatever, it doesn't like do that thing where it like, kind of glitches in your heart and you're like, oh, and you find yourself, just thinking about it. Like I tell you what, man, I honestly have not been that way, and so I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful to have turned that corner, like you said, started. I'm full on into the next chapter, man. You know what I mean?
And,
Like,
and it's good that you're able to turn that corner, because that corner, obviously, as you know, you've experienced, is a hard corner to turn. But once you turn it and you start feeling the way you're feeling now, you're it's almost like you've set the backpack of bricks down, and now instead of sluggishly walking, you're now sprinting.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it feels like, man. It's like it's literally like I got this adrenaline boost in life. You know what I mean? Like it's just like in every area, and so it's like Shayna. It's funny because let's bring in RJ first. What's up, RJ?
How we doing?
What's up,
I'm
RJ?
good, man. So I was just about to say, Shayna was joking with me because, we've been together now for quite a while. And, she knew me before. And she knew, my personality and everything. And she was telling me yesterday how cool it was to see me back to myself and even better than I was. From this last year, because she was concerned for me. That's how we she ended up started talking to me. Was she just reached out to me as a friend, and then through that over time we became closer. But it's really funny because she was telling me, she's just like, it's so good to see you this way, that it's like you're not fighting this, you're not the depression, you've gotten through that now, and she's like, it's so good to see this smile on your face and this sparkle in your eye again, that you're not just trying to get through your day, you're literally succeeding and thriving, and so yep, good stuff. Good stuff. How you doing, RJ?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a crazy weekend, so just recouping from that. It's gonna be a crazy night tonight with Raw and everything too. So it's
I know, man. I cannot wait for Raw tonight. So I guess we just jump right in. North Costa Nostra, did you watch WrestleMania?
I did watch I would say probably 3/4 of it. Yeah, I was able to stream it on because I have Peacock. So I was able to stream it on that. It was, if I were to compare it to previous WrestleManias, I think the only thing I'll remember from it. Okay, so let me actually, before I say that, so while there were and it's not to downgrade any of the wrestlers, their performances, but it just didn't feel like a WrestleMania. It felt like it just felt like too many matches. And granted, I understand it was 2 nights, so obviously you have to have enough matches for both nights. So I get that.
Yeah.
I'm more of a fan of and I know that the 2-night thing has been going on for quite some time now, so it's not anything new. But I don't think you and I grew up in an era where WrestleMania was a 1-night thing. It was a 1-night spectacle, and everything happened on that one night. You didn't have to worry about night 1 impacting night 2 matches, right? So, but I understand why they're doing it, right? To draw out the story or get more matches in, get more attention on some of the up and coming wrestlers, rightfully so, right? Because you have a new generation in there. Right. I think, but with all that said, the only thing I'll remember really that will stand out to me from this will be the last match on night 2, where we all expected The Rock to interrupt the match. It was just a matter of when he was going to interrupt the match. But I think a lot of people were surprised when John Cena showed up, when The Undertaker showed up, which were great cameos. But at some point, WWE needs to be able to move on without having to constantly bring in a lot of their previous greats with these types of cameos. I would hope the match would be able to carry itself without having to bring these 2 people in. And it carried itself And I mean, that was just to get the crowd in as far as some additional excitement for the match, maybe.
But I would say too, it's also storytelling because
I agree.
This bloodline thing's been going on and John Cena was involved at one point against Solo Sikoa, so that one made sense. That one actually fit pretty well, I would say, because if you've been watching it, there's history there, you know.
Yeah, I agree. But one thing that, and it could have just been the camera angle when we saw Cena, you know, when his music hit and we saw him coming down the ramp. It could have just been camera. When you saw him running down the ramp, it almost looked as if he was really struggling to run down the ramp. And again, it just could have been the camera angle. But if you go back and watch it, it almost looks like he's trying his best not to just topple over and fall, as if he didn't have it in him to run down to the ring like he used to. And again, he's not young anymore. He's much older than he used to be.
I think though with that kind of stuff though is more about, I think, not even necessarily the age thing, but more about like ring rust, right? Like about like.
And it very well could be. I just like as new upcoming wrestlers come into the stage, so to speak. I like the focus to be on them. Again, I get why, as RJ pointed out, why they would have done it, but that's just my take on it. I was glad to see Cody. You know, I was glad to see that how it ended. Finally has the title. I think that I was glad to see Triple H, you know, from a storytelling perspective, you know, allow that to play out. I definitely did not want to see Roman continue. I mean, he's had it since what,
August
2020, August 2020. He's had it for a while, and then when The Rock came in, I was like, oh man, I hope they don't somehow mess this up and Roman now continues. And then I immediately thought, well, are they going to use that for Raw today to then say, okay, now it'll be a title, and all of a sudden another title match on Raw, and then Cody wins it, which I think would not have been as good either.
I'll tell you what, Landon, who's in the chat, Landon had a really good theory. You know what I loved about this WrestleMania? So I hear what you're saying, and see, I felt like the attention was on the younger crowd, because you had like the opening match of night 2. You know, you got Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, and you get Drew McIntyre winning the heavyweight championship, but then
immediately losing it.
He can't let go of that CM Punk hate. He couldn't let it go.
I know, and that was great, and the banter back and forth. I mean, CM Punk is just great, anyways, on the mic. But I mean, like that moment where like he's going off, and CM Punk is just like, and I can't hear a word you're saying because I got cans on. You know, like it was that part was great. But then to see him lose the title right away to somebody who is part of that up and coming thing, and then Sami Zayn winning the title, the Intercontinental title. It was funny because Landon had this really great, that's what I started saying, Landon had this really great theory, and that's what I loved about this WrestleMania was there was so much going on that kind of blurred the lines of reality and storyline, and it was cool to experience this WrestleMania specifically with Shayna, because this was Shayna's first WrestleMania. Shayna is just now getting into wrestling, and so she's learning who these people are. She's learning history and all these things. And so it was cool to see that through her eyes. But there's all this, speculation about what was going to happen, how these things were going to play out. And Landon, man, he had this great booking that I just thought would have been something else. And that was, he was talking about, like, it would have been cool if during night 1, you got the tag team match, but then something happens where everybody gets laid out. Here comes Priest down to cash in and ends up turning it into a 5-way match, right? So that anybody can win the title then. And that The Rock would somehow find a moment where he could win the title and takes it, setting up for the next night then, instead of being Roman versus Cody, being Cody versus The Rock. Which would have been, it's pretty elaborate and over the top, but it like last night just had that feeling like that anything like that could happen, like that the last 2 nights, like any kind of crazy thing could happen. Now I will say this: last night before we went to the church to watch night 2, Shayna had really liked the ladder match from night 1, and it was like one of her favorite matches, and we were talking about that, and so I took her back to WrestleMania 17 to the ladder match between the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and
The Hardys.
the Hardys. And it was amazing because even I learned something by watching that. I mean, like stuff that you know, but like you don't really think about until like you're really watching it. And I realized something, and that was there was so much from a production value that was different during that era that really they could learn from now. Because nowadays, there's just a lot of standing around. There's a lot of posing. There's a lot of slow movements. And there's a lot of, like, faking agony over stuff. And, you know, and everybody gets laid out and everybody's sleeping. You know, everybody knows the famous stuff, you know, if you got, like, you know, the Royal Rumble or you got, you know, a battle royal or whatever, you know, everybody can't be doing a spot all at the same time. So, you know, people are just laying on the ground like they were just totally annihilated until they got to get their spot and then they jump up and do something.
It's like the Ric Flair flop.
Right. But it was really interesting watching that WrestleMania 17 match because everybody, every second of that match, everyone was doing something. Yeah. Everyone was active. Everyone was up. Everybody was moving. The camera angles just kept coming over and over and over again. And there was one spot in particular that I noticed that like the production was helping the match along because there was a moment where I think the Dudleys like power slam a couple of the other guys or whatever, but they picked them up, and while they're up, they got a straight on, you know, shot, you know, the kind of the stagnant shot. But right as they're getting ready to hit the ground, it went to a side shot to show the impact. But you didn't have just one static shot for all of that to show all the imperfections of it or whatever. It was cutting really quick, and there were quick camera angles, and everybody was moving with gusto and, you know, and purpose. And I mean, and then there was like spot after spot after spot after spot after spot after spot. Everybody just kept coming, man, with one thing after another. And then there was like one spot where there was like 2 people up in the front fall off ladders, and then the people in the back fall off the ladders, and the people in the middle fall off the ladders. And so it was just like you could tell. And even Shayna looked at me and she said, "See, this shows me that these guys all got together and really put a lot of thought and planning into this match because so much is happening where it's like there's not a dull moment." And then watching, you know, coming back for night 2, it was really cool to see her now pointing out like why are they just standing around? Why are they just like, you know, it was like she's getting now like what we've been saying as wrestling fans now for a while, you know. And so that was really cool to see it through her eyes for the first time, you know, a WrestleMania. And then to see her be able to pick up on some of these things that wrestling fans, you know, are desiring. But I got to say, overall, I was very impressed with it as an event. First of all, it was Triple H's moment.
I mean, they said multiple times in this broadcast, this is the first WrestleMania in the Triple H era. We're in the Triple H era, new era, new era, new era. Then you had Stephanie McMahon come out and be like, yeah, right? This is much better now. Like, I'm just like, oh, she's throwing shade at her dad and be like, yeah, this is like
dude, you could tell, though. But you could tell, RJ, that, like, everything that was said, everything that was alluded to, even on Hall of Fame night with...
everything was basically about, like...
Paul Heyman and everything. You can tell that there seems to be a relief amongst everyone that Vince McMahon is gone.
And that they got a clean slate now with Triple H. Yeah. Yeah.
You could, even Stephanie, man, you could see that look on her face that it was like, yeah, this is...
And I will say I was glad to see Stephanie. I know she was at the Hall of Fame ceremony, but when she opened up night 2, I was glad to see her kind of back in the fold. I mean, it wasn't a large piece, but I was glad to see that she was back. in some capacity.
Yeah, just for a little bit, yeah.
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 For
It's good to see her support. It's good to see her support of Triple H. I mean, you know, and
I mean, they've been married for a long time, so
yeah. For me, at least with this WrestleMania, I thought it was overall pretty good, close to great. I would say that night 2 was much better than night 1. I felt like night one started strong and ended strong. The middle, not so good. The middle was kind of like very meh. But night 2,
see, now I gotta say though, you say that, but in night 2 there was a huge lull. By the time they got to the Bailey match, we all were looking at each other. We're like, wow, the energy just like got sucked out of this event real quick.
I mean, I'm
Did you
trying
feel
to.
that?
No, I didn't feel that way personally. No, that was me more so on night 1. Night 1, I was just like, man, like I feel like the energy's so low, and I'm just like, where's the main event? You know, for me, night 2 was just like consistent. At least for me, like I felt like the crowd was more
You
into
didn't think that it
night
died
2.
out with the Bailey match?
people loving it.
Yeah, people love the Bailey match, and people are like really like cheering for it and going crazy for it.
I don't know. It just seemed like there was a lot of energy there, and even like with our group, like everybody was like for the whole event, everybody was like, with the Bailey match, for some reason, we just all kind of like, I don't know.
It was
It's
his
funny.
time to
Isn't it
become
funny how
champion.
everybody has a different experience? What's that, Anthony?
I say it was his time to become champion ever since Monet left the company. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just me though. Like I said, I think like honestly, the only match I was legitimately disappointed by this year, like the only match I actually disliked was the Uso versus Uso match. Because
That was horrible.
Yeah, I was
That
so
was
excited.
Tupac
I
of
was
ass.
so excited for that match, and I felt like they just did not deliver. I don't know what happened. I don't know if just because Jimmy's just not a very good singles wrestler or what, or they just didn't have good in-ring chemistry. But like, it was the same move like 8 times, and it was over. I'm just like, what? You're just doing super
It's
kicks?
like you were playing a video game and you keep pressing the same button every time.
Yeah.
And like,
Or there was a glitch in the
It was a
matrix.
glitch, yeah.
There was a glitch in the
It was
matrix.
like your sister knows how to super kick, and that's all she can do. So she just keeps hitting that button over and over and over again. Yeah, no, I agree. That match was horrible. I mean, it was boring. When they started talking to each other, even it was like getting drawn
It was
out.
very
Nothing
predictable.
was happening.
Okay, yeah, it's like, okay, he's saying forgive me, and then he's gonna low blow him and attack. Like, come on, we've seen that a million times. Like,
Yeah.
Literally nothing was happening in that match. Like,
but like I
that
said, overall, like night 1 was okay. Like I said, the highlights for me for night 1 was Sami Zayn versus Gunther in the main event. Those last 2 matches really elevated that show from being to good, you know. And then night 2, I thought fire on all cylinders. Night 2 was pretty much perfect. Even the matches I wasn't super excited for, like the Philadelphia Street Fight and LA Knight versus AJ Styles in the U.S. title match, all of those delivered. I thought LA Knight versus AJ Styles was way better than I thought it was going to be. And the U.S. title match, it was over the top a little bit. It's Logan Paul, it's going to be, but it was a lot of fun, you know?
Right.
And for me, like, there was no match on night 2 I could say that was actually like a bad match. Where night 1 there was a couple matches I'm like, this is pretty good.
Logan is a good wrestler. I gotta give him props. Like, he's very good.
Yeah. And can I just say, I don't know, we haven't talked about it yet, but I just want to mention night 1's main event, The Rock's entrance.
That was crazy.
Wow. The entrances for the main events on night 1 and night 2 were absolutely incredible. All the entrances were fantastic. Like night 2, the production value and the presentation for both Cody and Roman for that main event last night, A+++, like S tier. Like they made you feel like that was like the final chapter. Like this is it. The fate of WWE is in the hands of like this battle right here. Like they like went crazy with the presentation values this WrestleMania. I was very impressed.
So I'm glad to see Williams here because William and I think share the same opinion about this WrestleMania. So I can't wait for him to jump in.
Yeah, this was a Raw with WrestleMania dressing. That's what I called it last night.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you, William, because we called that. Now, again, I'm going to say it during the Bailey match. I said we all looked at each other and we said, "This feels more like a Raw match than it does a WrestleMania match. This doesn't feel anything like a WrestleMania match." And there were a few matches, yes, like that. I agree with you, William.
Yeah, I'm still going to contend. I would rather them go back to a one-day format, but like I said, it wasn't like, I was paying, 1990s pay-per-view money for this, so I got to judge it by that level. I thought that, like I said, the whole pay-per-view was carried by about 3 or 4 matches. The rest of them, I either wasn't engaged in or could have done without. But like I said, nobody's going to, at the end of the day, you're only going to remember WrestleMania moments. You don't really remember WrestleMania cards. And so they did deliver on the pageantry. They did deliver on the moments. I would give it a high C overall for the entire event. And it gets that because of the Cody Rhodes match, because of the Gunther match, and because of the Bailey match. The opening match from night one really let me down. The Becky Lynch, I thought that was going to be a banger of a match. That match was underwhelming.
I thought half of that match was good. I mean, I thought Rita's portion of that match. We were talking about that match. It's interesting that you say that because we were talking about that match after it happened, and it was interesting because Becky, she's smaller. She doesn't have the same impact, and going up against somebody the size of Rita, somebody with the intensity of Rita, it didn't seem to match up.
Well, they mentioned on commentary too that Becky was wrestling with strep throat. Like she got sick.
Yeah.
She got sick the whole match.
But was that true even? You know what I mean? Like, was that storyline or what? Because I feel like that was more of a reason to say, well, Rita beat her, so she can kind of move on, or they can, drag it out to the next event. You know what I mean?
They didn't do a good job building this match. That's a problem, too. They didn't really do a good job building this match. But what they're doing...
Which is weird, William. You know what? That's weird because, all that promo stuff that they're doing for that behind-the-scenes thing, and Hunter talking about how 80% of this WrestleMania was booked by September of last year. Like, that doesn't even make any sense because, like, some of these matches, there was, like, no build-up to them. Like, like... That's the one thing I miss about back in the day when I was a kid, where it would be like a 3 or 4 month build up to each pay-per-view. Now you got a pay-per-view every month, so it doesn't matter, it seems, as much anymore.
Yeah, it's too many. I actually think they've had this booked since maybe August of last year. I think 95% of the show was pretty much booked with the exception of CM Punk, his injury, and that changing the June episode.
Yeah, Triple H said that last October last year the card was like 80% done.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call him a liar, but if you look
is on roll right now.
Yeah, you look how this rolled out. The only thing that they couldn't control really was CM Punk's injury. And because I think that changed that match, but everything else was like, and watch for tonight. Tonight, either tonight or Friday, the entire bloodline is going to turn on Roman Reigns.
Well, supposedly there's people filming backstage at Raw right now where people.
The Rock is there,
in the arena. Apparently, Rock has been seen.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I wouldn't be surprised if Seth Rollins help Roman Reigns.
I think that's what's definitely going to happen. I think they set that up last night.
They're gonna make sense. It's like, hey, I'm sorry that I broke up the shows 10 years ago, and
even though they all went on a tremendous amount of success after you have to hit them with that.
When they played the theme song of the show, everybody thought that one guy was gonna show up.
I actually thought there was a part of me.
For a second, I thought too, but I forgot he's at ADW.
There was a part of me that thought, oh my God, John Moxley, Dean Ambrose is gonna come back.
But he's at.
There was no way.
ADW.
No way.
I know there was no way.
Yeah, he's with Tony Khan. He's
with
the other Tony Khan.
Like I think Goldust had more of a chance of coming back than Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, I thought that would have been a one-day thing.
He's making a ton of money at the other company. So
Tony Khan isn't feeling very gracious this week. He's in a bad mood.
Oh no, Tony Khan is. If I see him on the street, I'm smacking him.
Yeah,
I'm dead honest.
No,
yeah.
I'm just smacking him. I wouldn't go to jail for wrestling. You know, but
But
other than
no, I
that,
think from the beginning, I think this storyline with The Rock, you guys can, Little Lobby can dispute me. I think this was part of something that goes a lot longer, and that's going to
yeah,
go all the way
next
to
year, yeah,
SummerSlam.
I agree. Next year,
Oh yeah,
Um,
of
you're gonna see
course,
the
yeah,
build
yeah.
up
But
and
what's
stuff.
been interesting is the way they've been talking about it, like in the media, and just like they're releasing a documentary on Wednesday. This was like last minute, like as of February 2nd, when I was on SmackDown and The Rock came out. The plan was Roman versus Rock solo match. Cody was gonna have to wait a year.
I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think so because go back 2 months prior. Go back 2 months prior when he came out.
I'm just saying from what they're describing and what The Rock
Yeah,
said to Fox News, what he said to the board, what he said, what Triple H has been
yeah.
saying.
We
They had a
were getting
plan that
worked.
did not involve Cody Rhodes at all.
We were getting worked, and which is great. I haven't been worked like this as a fan in quite a long time. But you
I
were
don't
being
think
worked.
so. I don't think so. Because
Yeah.
like the way that they're talking about this, they said like we had this booked and ready to go, and it
Nah,
changed.
see,
And then start doing
whenever
things
they
on the
tell you,
fly.
hold on, whenever Triple H or anybody that high starts talking to the press about inner bookings, it's a work. It's a work. And when he came out there months prior to that, gave that "where should I sit?" This was a long term storytelling. It turns Roman Reigns the face, which I swear there's more money in him as a good guy than as a bad guy, and it does something with The Rock that they already know he can take. Oh, The Rock being booed, is that going to hurt his balls? No. To be honest with you, without The Rock's insertion into this storyline, this was almost a pass for me. I was almost going to sit out most of this WrestleMania because I had a lot of stuff to do with this weekend. If it was just another rehash of Cody, nothing against Cody, but that wasn't a 2-year storyline just with those two. So they did what they needed to do to get people
I mean,
interested
it
in this
was
match.
to finish his story.
Well, I think
I
they
like
ended
this
up.
stuff.
I think they ended up where they needed to be all along. I think that everything worked out the way it was supposed to. But I do think that a lot of it was, just like with a lot of
Well,
things
where
in
you and I
wrestling,
disagree, and I think you
a
not
lot of it
disagree.
came in on the fly.
I don't think this was reactionary. They got to where they needed to be, but I truly believe that this wasn't reactionary. And I think as you see the storyline go along, as you see The Rock versus Roman going into the bloodline, who's going to turn on them? You also have that new, one of their new relatives that should debut sometime
Oh
soon.
yeah,
And I think that was,
Oh, he's a beast. Like if you see
yeah.
behind footage, he's a beast. He's gonna take Solo's spot. He's gonna take his
No, I
spot
think he's going to
easily.
take Roman's spot. He's going to take
Yeah, I
Roman's
think
spot.
Roman's gonna go away for a little bit. And he's gonna
Oh
come
yeah,
in.
I think Roman's gonna come back maybe this summer. Yeah, like this summer. My guess.
Yeah, they'll set this up for SummerSlam, which I think that was what their plan was from quite a while back. But yeah, this wasn't a great pay per view, but it wasn't awful either. I mean, like I said, by modern standards, by modern PLE, $4.95 Peacock price standards, this was entertaining.
It's way better than the other companies doing right now.
Now look,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will say this. First of all,
It
thank
is. I'm
you.
I
sorry.
think a
Like
lot of
what?
people
Like
would
the other
agree
company.
with
What is doing?
Anthony.
You
Because
do not know what you're
I
smoking.
think people are being turned off by AEW the more time goes on because of a lot of things that they're doing.
So first of
Once
all, thank you, Punk Black. Thank you, Punk Black, for the 99-cent super
Is that a
sticker.
bitch?
Appreciate you.
Yeah, bitch up.
And then also, Anthony Beltre has been a member for 31 months.
Who cares?
Thank you, buddy.
William, you
I
like
do.
the other company. I'm sorry, William. You like.
I
I
do.
watch it all.
And I will say,
I watch it all.
this. I will say this as well.
I do.
I disagree. I disagree that it was that kind of pay-per-view. I think it was a good pay-per-view. I think there were too many tag matches.
True, yeah.
There were a lot of tag matches, but you know what? At first, I'll be honest with you, I hated the idea of 2 nights for WrestleMania, but now I actually really like it, and I think that it gives. I feel that it gives more people an opportunity that they wouldn't have otherwise, because otherwise it would just be, if you just do 1 night. You're not going to be able to get as many matches. People aren't going to be able to get on into that event.
Some of those people don't belong in that event, though. To be off fair, the old days you had to be top tier to get on WrestleMania. Now it's just
Did you? Because there were. Look, I know we look back on it with such rose-colored glasses, but come on, buddy. Let's be honest. Man. There were a lot of matches. There were a lot of matches. Some of the main events, even that shouldn't have been main events back in the day, even when we were little.
But back in the day, you didn't have Raw, you didn't have SmackDown, you didn't have all the shows to spread out those matches on. So I don't know. I mean, I mean,
Well, their
I'm okay
rosters
with
are
it,
much
but
bigger too, and like
I'm trying not to be. You know what? I'm trying not to be in my return and in my being, back in this kind of scene of things, I'm finding that I'm trying to be a lot less cynical about stuff and see things from more of a point of view of like just the average person watching this. Not trying to come at everything with an analytical mind. There were a lot of issues, right? There were issues with WrestleMania. Obviously, there were botches. There were weird things that happened.
Poor table spot. That poor table spot. So bad.
Well, even the ladder spot, right, where the ladders, like you could see that, like what the ladder was actually made of, and and stuff when it came apart. But I thought that overall it was a really good event, and I felt like it was entertaining. The stories, even the stuff that like I didn't really care about. Like, I'll be honest with you, last night was the first time I've ever seen LA Knight, ever.
Oh man, you've been missing out.
Yeah, and so, but I bought in, man. Like I felt like they told a really good story with that, and it was also like the first time I had ever seen. Oh gosh, man, it was the first time I'd seen a few people because I haven't been watching regularly, and even in watching, I've been only watching certain parts. I haven't been necessarily watching all of Raw or watching all of a show, and so. I felt like they did a good job. And you know what else I judged it by? Honestly, watching it with people who don't normally watch wrestling and gauging their interest afterwards, especially Shayna, because man, through this, Shayna has been getting to know about wrestling. I'm taking her back now, watching, like I said, old pay-per-views, and it was really cool to see her be able to appreciate, like I said, that Dudley Hardy Christian and Edge match, and see her be able to pick out the things that we would pick out about it. That like wrestling today is really slow. I feel like one of the things that they really need to work on in this new era is picking up the pace, like making it exciting, because they kept talking about it this WrestleMania, like, oh, it's been nonstop since the beginning, and like Shayna would go, no, it's not. Like those other matches that we watched, yeah, those were nonstop since the beginning. This isn't nonstop. Like they're taking their slow, easy time throughout the whole thing and stuff. So I'm trying to be less cynical. I didn't think it was perfect. I think it was perfect, but I mean, I thought it was very also. Like with night 2, with the Bloodline rules for the main event, I thought they did a poor job of explaining exactly what Bloodline rules meant. Because it was just like they just kept throwing stuff in that like, oh, Bloodline rules means this. Bloodline rules means this.
Anything goes, yeah.
Just say anything goes.
Match.
Just say anything goes. And what I was disappointed in, and we all kind of talked about this in our group, you guys can tell me what you think. I'm just saying some stuff, and then you guys can discuss. But I was more expecting them to come out and it more be almost like a lumberjack match, where like Cody couldn't get away, where like he was surrounded. The way that they did it, just one at a time like that, was like, yeah, okay, Cody gets the upper. We knew Cody's going to get like a little bit of an upper hand, and somebody's going to run in. Okay. And then it would happen again, and then it happened again. Like, I felt like there could have been a little bit more. Now, I totally marked out when The Undertaker appeared because I was not expecting that. A lot of people were thinking that maybe Stone Cold would show up or
it was
whatever.
supposed to be. His wife got sick, so.
Oh, was it? Okay. But
yeah,
I tell you what,
yeah.
Well, that's good to know then. That's good to know, because when The Undertaker showed up, when his music
that
hit,
was
where
crazy.
With the bell gong, I was like, what?
Yeah, that was crazy. Even the Rock.
That's why they paced it out like that. I agree with you with the lumberjack thing, but I can also agree with the way they did it because they were able to pace it out and get the crowd reaction. That match was overbooked, but not overbooked in a bad way. I thought that match was one of the ones that they handled perfectly as far as the pacing and timing.
I felt like they could have even done more with that. That it could have been even more crazy, and it would have made sense, because it never felt like it was. One of the things that I think a lot of people like about the old days, like the Attitude Era and the aggression and all that stuff, was the fact that like anything could happen. There was this excitement and energy from like bell to bell, and it was just go. I felt like there could have been more to that Bloodline rules match, where it never felt like it was out of control. It never felt like it was like pandemonium crazy. It felt like it was kind of controlled chaos, and
Yeah.
but it was good.
Well,
But it worked.
I think part of that was because, for me at least, I thought that the main event was pretty much executed to perfection because I feel like they wanted to have a traditional match before the craziness started. They wanted to have Cody and Roman because I think those two have really good in-ring chemistry with each other. And I think for at least a good chunk of it, they wanted to just be a one-on-one match. And then you get into the craziness when Roman's feeling like he's going to start losing, right?
Sure.
And a lot of it was storytelling. And I love the fact that the reason that Roman Reigns finally lost is because he could have taken the chair shot against Cody, but he couldn't let go of his anger at Seth Rollins for betraying him 10 years ago.
Right.
Like, that was just beautiful.
That was a great
was
callback.
that, like, his emotions about the breaking up of the Shield is what did him in finally.
Yeah,
That callback, RJ, was beautiful.
Yeah. Like I said, I think you're going to see them. I don't know if that. I think it's going to be the night where the new member of the Bloodline literally just replaces Roman
Roman's
Reigns.
not showing up tonight, right?
No, I think this is his last night for a while. I think he comes back and they do like a Bloodline.
So what is
segment.
Paul Heyman's gonna do? He's gonna go with the other guy.
Well, he's going to go. He's going to go with The Rock because The Rock is the
The
whole
Rock.
point of this
Damn.
whole storyline was to turn Roman face. They'll probably beat the hell out of him tonight. Introduce the new Bloodline tonight, and then he'll be gone for a little bit.
Yeah, just my guess, if we're doing predictions for Raw tonight, my guess is Rock and Roman, this will be their last night for a while until they're both available again. But Rock is basically going to do a segment with the Bloodline where he sicks the Bloodline on Roman, they turn on him, and they bring out Jacob Fatu, and he basically destroys Roman, and then he replaces him. And then he's like, all right, I'm leaving. You guys, I'll give you your orders from...
Also, don't forget The Rock has he's gonna film his new movie coming up with
Yeah, that's what I'm
824.
saying.
So
Both,
yeah.
both Rock and Roman are going to go away for a little bit, but the story will just continue with like the Jimmy, Solo, and Jacob Fatu.
Steph as well, because his contract expired this year with his wife as well. So yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I got a bolt, but yeah, that was WrestleMania in a nutshell. I got to meet Sting yesterday, though.
You did?
Yeah.
Dude, you can't just go. Got a bolt. I met Sting yesterday. Come on.
I'll send you the picture. It was cool. I got my belt signed. I got my Crumb Ryan, my big gold signed. So I have two. Yeah, 2 of the 3 people that need to sign it. Ric Flair and Steamboat are the other 2. So I got 1 out of 3 so far.
Nice.
So, all right, guys. Have a good Monday.
All right, bro. You too, man. You too. Yeah, I thought that. I was really glad that they let Cody finish the story. And that didn't get
that's one of those
pushed
things
on to more.
Yeah, that's just one of those things where it's just going to be like one of those like mortal WrestleMania moments, Like it reminded me a lot of God, what was it? WrestleMania was it 20? Which one was the one? Wasn't it like the one with Bret Hart getting lifted up? It reminded me a lot of that.
Oh yeah. What? Oh, was that? That was in Vegas, right?
Yeah. Was it WrestleMania 15, 10? Which one was that?
Wait, hold on. Hogan won the title that year. He wasn't supposed to even be in it. That's the year he came out in what? So what? Hold on.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Where Bret Hart got lifted up by everybody.
Yeah. No, that wasn't. For some reason, I was thinking that was in Vegas, but I don't think that was in Vegas. I can't remember what year it was. Somebody says WrestleMania 9.
Oh, okay.
DL said WrestleMania 9. Is DL? Hold on a second. I can't see. It's so bright and sunny. DL kept falling off. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
he wasn't here, but. So here's the thing. Austin watched WrestleMania for the first time last night. So I'm curious, Austin. I already kind of know, but tell us your thoughts on WrestleMania 40.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought I do agree with you. It came to a low point like after the Logan Paul match, I think, and it got kind of boring and started doing some stuff around the house, just waiting for it to pick up. So, Other than that, I thought it was really cool. I'd never seen a WrestleMania before. You know, there was seeing The Rock and John Cena and all those guys. It was fun. I thought it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, and I mean and at the end of the day, right? That's what it's got to be, right? Like, I mean, I get it. Those of us who've been around wrestling for a while or watched wrestling for a while, you know, we end up forming opinions and we think, oh, it should be this way or it should be that way. You know, at the end of the day, man, it's wrestling. You know, and it's good to see though that was wrestling. This was not just sports entertainment. This was not Vince McMahon's WWE. This was definitely Hunter's influence. And I thought it was good.
A new era.
Yeah, speaking of that,
it really was. And you could tell, like, from night one, as they showed him walking up, even, this was his moment to shine. You know, this was his moment to show what he could do. This first WrestleMania without Vince McMahon, you know, to be able to say, hey, we can pull this off and it will be something good and wonderful. And I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. I mean, for a WrestleMania, I thought it was good. Like I said, there were a couple of low points where it didn't seem like it was as good, but overall, you know, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I think it was very entertaining. It had spots where we marked out and got super excited and we're high-fiving and running around the place, you know, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think 7.5 to 8 as well, probably around there. I was going to mention, though, you know, should you see the report coming out this morning that WWE is officially moving away from the sports entertainment moniker? They're getting rid of that Vince McMahon term.
Excellent. I didn't see that, but that's excellent. It needs
Yeah,
to be.
they're not going to refer to this as sports entertainment anymore. That Vince McMahon phrase that he coined. So yeah, like I said, this whole weekend felt like a condemnation of like all the Vince McMahonisms of the last couple of decades.
Yes,
It's funny.
dude. Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame speech alone was so damning towards Vince McMahon and all of the things that Vince McMahon had set into place. You know. DL's back. Okay, cool. But you know what I mean? Like, everything that Vince had done and set in motion, like, you could see that there was almost this relief on Stephanie, Triple H, everybody who talked about it, especially Paul Heyman. And they really made the fact and point that Paul Heyman has been the one who's been backstage, like, helping to cultivate some of these people and build them up and teach them and you know, break them into the business and stuff. And I loved Paul Heyman's comments about how, you know, yeah, in WWE we had, you know, dentists and garbage men and repo men, but you know, but professional wrestling had taken a back seat. And that's the thing, is I really feel like this is the start of something really, really great as far as wrestling, you know, and where it's going to go from here.
Absolutely.
What did you think of it, DL?
WrestleMania. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I was with you guys a little bit on night one because I think you saw my thing on Facebook, Enosh, too, and I posted it on Twitter as well, or X, that like I was getting a little nervous night one. I still really enjoyed night one in general, but like I felt like this is not as strong as last year's. There's a couple of matches where, like, as you guys said, it felt like Raw matches or SmackDown matches put on WrestleMania, specifically Rey Mysterio and Andrade, that match, and even people were really excited about this match with Jade, Bianca, and Naomi, including my girlfriend. That was her most like anticipated match of both nights, and both of those felt just like regular Raw SmackDown matches. So it's like, ooh, because like last year, like night one was like picture perfect. Every match like hit. But like night one, I was like, those are the couple matches like, but everything else was really good. But night two, I loved everything about night two. Like I thought everything was great. Now I do agree with the criticisms that William and you brought up about the bloodline rule stuff. They could have done a lumberjack thing, which I thought that's what they were going to do. I didn't think they were going to go one at a time. But even so, just the storytelling was still so good. Even like probably the most like Raw SmackDown Philly match on night 2 was AJ Styles and LA Knight, but even they were just going for it in that. That was still a great match. So
it
it's
was.
like, and so
it
like,
really was.
yeah. So everything I think hit in night 2. I thought night 2 was overall better night 2 than last year's. So and then Cody finishing the story like. Because I was rooting for Cody, because like I was one of those people that was like, why didn't you give him the belt last year? It was like, okay, we got to build him up, put him through more adversity. Sure, that's fine. And I was getting nervous when The Rock came in and pushed him to the side. I was like, no. He earned this shot. He won the Royal Rumble. You don't just do that. But I loved how The Rock pivoted, and now he's the final boss. And it's like this heel persona that he's doing is some of the best work that he's done in years, and he really helped elevate this rivalry between Cody and Roman. So I thought all that was great. And then yes, that Bloodline Rules match was like an overbooked mess, but I loved it. When John Cena came out, when The Undertaker came out, I was like, yes, this was amazing. Put Solo through a table, and then man, what really got me, this is how you know like professional wrestling is amazing. When Cody pinned Roman, Samantha Irving trying to call out. Oh, is my signal okay? Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
my signal went off for a second.
It's good.
Yep.
Okay. So as I said, like when Cody pinned Roman, and then Samantha was announcing, "Here's your winner," and you hear the emotion when she's trying to say it, about to cry, I almost watered up as well. I was like, "Oh my god, yes!" Like it was just, and the whole stadium was just freaking out. My god, that was a WrestleMania moment. So that brought it to the end for me. It brought it to greatness for me.
Yeah.
Like this is probably will go down as one of my favorite WrestleManias, and like it felt overall. This era with Triple H taking over, you feel change for the better. It feels different. It feels more focused. It feels more engaging. If like, I think going forward, with Triple H taking over and we could, Vince McMahon not interfering in anything, like I think we're really going to see some great changes with WWE. Now, like Triple H, like I know like some criticism with Triple H is that like he doesn't focus as much on the spectacle. He's more of like the long-term booking and the storytelling.
Yeah, he's old school. He's old school. Yeah.
Like he's old school, and I definitely felt that with this WrestleMania. And some people may like more of the spectacle stuff that Vince had when he was taking over, but I liked the more like indie feel that they gave to WrestleMania. It was something different. It was something new. Like
right,
but like
you're
it's
not
still
getting a cell match every other month, or like like a ladder match every other week. Yeah. I'm okay if they want to do that stuff like only when it makes sense to do it. But to your point though, I want to mention too, like last year's WrestleMania, Triple H was creatively involved, but Vince was hanging over it a little bit. And if you remember, the Raw after Mania last year was horrible.
It was ass. Oh my!
It was
horrible. And do you know why?
Vince.
I was so mad. I was so angry.
Triple H.
God.
Because Vince last year at the Raw after Mania, Vince McMahon took Triple H's pencil away from him and did the show himself. For whatever reason.
Really?
Yeah, for whatever reason, he came in and was like, "Nope, I'm doing the Raw after Mania." I'm like,
that's the reason why Triple H hates the man. His Stephanie hates her father. Like you could tell. Like they don't like that guy. I mean,
so I'll tell you this, DL, you hit on something, man. Like when all that was going on, I looked over at Shayna, and Shayna was over there just crying, right? She's just bawling. And I thought about that, and I kind of jokingly said to her, I said, "Hey, babe, so when you first got into this with us, and you started watching, this, and you started, learning who some of these people were and everything, I said, did you ever think that you'd be this emotional over wrestling?" And she was like, "Nope." She's like, "But I get it now." You know, and that goes back to the storytelling, right? Of like making it relevant and making it something that you connect with. And I feel that that's what Triple H is doing. Like, who cares if we got a big spectacle, if we got a story that we care about, right? It's like throwing a bunch of special effects on a crappy movie. It's still a crappy movie. I would rather watch a movie that has no special effects, that takes place in one room, you know, with 5 people maybe in the whole cast, but yet is something that is good, you know, than just to watch a bunch of special effects, you know. And I think that's where Vince has been way out of touch, you know, and goes back to like Paul Heyman's point, you know, during his speech. You know, it's like people want wrestling, people want good stories, people want something that's compelling. We don't care about stupid characters or dumb, you know, storylines that go nowhere. Give us something that's compelling. Give us something that pulls on our heartstrings. And that's definitely what this did. And yeah, some of it may have been predictable. You know, like we all pretty much knew that Seth and Cody were going to lose night 1. I mean, that was just, if they didn't do that, I don't know what they would have done. What's that?
Oh, sorry. No, I was saying I think like they had to lose because it builds more mystery and intrigue for night 2. It's like, how's he going to win? Does he even have a shot at winning?
Right. Well, and the thing is like, well, then what's even the point of even saying that it's going to be the stipulation is bloodline rules? You know, if it's not going to be, you know. So I get that part, and that was fine and great. It's just even though some of it was predictable. Now, a couple of things. One, I thought the finish to night 2 was a little abrupt. It didn't feel like that's where the finish was supposed to be. There wasn't much of a build up to it. It was just like all of a sudden Cody was on top, and I was surprised that was where the finish took place.
Yeah,
did anybody else feel like that?
I see what you mean, because like literally it was like the Undertaker chokeslammed The Rock, the lights went out, lights came back on, Roman attempts to spear Cody kicks him in the face, and then crossroads him 3 times and it's over.
Yeah.
So I was like,
no. If I remember correctly, before the crossroads, Roman grabbed that chair and he was contemplating whether or not to hit Cody or Seth.
Oh, didn't that happen before Undertaker?
Yeah, that was before. Yeah.
Not.
It was before.
I had to go back and look, but I thought before he grabbed him for the crossroads, what ended up happening was he hit Seth with the chair and dropped.
No, that did happen before, because yeah, you're right. Seth Rollins did like come out of the crowd and attempted to hit The Rock with the steel chair, but then Roman speared Seth Rollins, and then
the chair was contemplating who to hit. He hits Seth. He goes towards Cody. Cody grabs him, does the crossroads 2 times, does the pump up thing, does the 3rd one and pins him. So I mean, like, I felt like that was more like a story thing, you know, which is kind of like what would realistically, what would like the most dominant champion in the modern era, how would he collapse? It's because he can't let go of his hatred towards somebody for causing so many issues, you know, because of Seth for betraying him all those years ago. Get that revenge back, you know.
So real quick, do you think they'll introduce a new style of title? Do you think the one that they have now will now be retired and give Cody not his own version, like we had the Smoking Skulls and all that, but do you think they'll say maybe at Raw tonight or in a couple of weeks they may say, here's the new, we're introducing a new style of title now?
I think the one that Enos has, that would be dope.
Yeah. So here's what's interesting about that is, so we were kind of talking about, because Cody, back in the day, when he was in WWE before, when he won the Intercontinental title, he brought back that 80s style Intercontinental title, the classic that we all loved and everything, and brought that title back. A lot of people have speculated whether or not he will change the title. I hope he does. I don't know. I mean, I don't like the title belts in WWE.
The big W.
Yeah, I think that the world heavyweight title, the one that Seth had, and the female version of that, I think that is borderline obnoxious. the way it is, because it kind of reminds me of just like the WCW NWA, big gold belt, but just with a big WWE on it, and I could do without that, and I don't like the big WWE thing. I hate that. I hate that belt with a passion. I hated it from the moment that I saw it when The Rock debuted it. I've hated all of its incarnations. I hate the fact that every freaking belt looked like that for a while. There was no distinction except for, a couple of colors and stuff like that. That was just BS. That was lazy. It didn't look like a title. It didn't look like a real, like something, that was sought after, that you would want. It just looked like a decoration, and that's how they treated it. Now, that being said, there's been speculation, a lot of speculation, as to whether or not Cody would bring back this belt. It was interesting that Cody came to the ring yesterday. First of all, he had that skull mask on that had the gold wings on it, and then his outfit had gold winged eagles on each shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he'll bring this back. I mean, like, if you're talking about his dad, then it would have to be a title from before that, right? That he would bring back, which I think would be kind of cool too. It wouldn't be as popular, but dude, if they debuted this title right here, if Cody brought this belt back, people would lose their freaking mind.
It will sell out quickly.
I don't know what it is about WWE that they have not figured that out. People still love this belt. This belt conjures up all kinds of emotion and nostalgia, and it doesn't just have to be nostalgia. It could definitely be the belt still, because it looks like that, and it feels like the real championship. I mean, people hate the spinner belt. I mean, I know there's people who love the spinner belt. I was just talking to somebody.
I have a soft spot for it. I'm not gonna lie.
You have that, you know?
No. But this belt right here, to me, is the WWE WWF Championship. Like, everything, the stuff that's out there nowadays, I just don't care. The big W's on it and stuff like that. You can miss me with that nonsense.
Well, here's what I think.
I don't dig it.
Yeah, here's what I think they're going to do. I think because they mostly do the big W stuff because they want to sell replicas and for the toys or whatever. But like what I think they're going to do, I don't think it's going to be a straight up like. I don't think he's just going to bring like the straight up old winged belt. I think they're going to do obviously a modern version of the winged belt, and you're still going to have the WWE logo on there, but definitely not as big as that big WWE gold one that Roman was wearing. But it's going to be that, and then the side plates, because they do the side plates for all the titles, so it's going to be the winged belt with the side plates and the WWE logo in the middle of it. So that's what I think that they're going to do. Now, my only thing is, if they're going to do that for Cody, what are they going to do for Bayley as well? Because I don't want her to still walk around with the big W gold belt either if they're going to do that for Cody, So I personally like the other belts, though. The Intercontinental Championship, the U.S. Championship, I think both of those look good. The tag team belts got to go. They have got to go. Man, those nickel belts with red and blue straps, it's so freaking ugly. Why do they keep carrying that around? So I hope now that they split the titles, we're going to get new belts like the World Tag Team Championships and the WWE Tag Team Championship. Like, just get rid of those. Those are the worst belts, in my opinion. But yeah, that's what I think they're going to do.
Anybody else with any opinions on the championship belts?
I mean, it's good. I mean, if hopefully they bring it back. If they don't, then I don't know.
Can I say too? I thought it was really dumb. I know there's people with different opinions, and I respect your opinions, but this is my opinion. Yes, and even to those people who messaged me this week saying that they wanted to debate me over supposedly how many times I've been wrong over the last couple of years. Whatever. It's my opinion. It holds no weight in the bigger scheme of things. I don't hold any power over that. It's just my opinion. Who cares? Right. But my opinion of the what was I going to to say now. I totally lost my train of thought there. What I was going to say. I had that big setup, and I totally.
Yeah, I was like, this must be good. This must be a hot take.
It was good, but I can't remember what I was going to say now. Just with the titles. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So, I was disappointed in the Hall of Fame thing with Muhammad Ali that they turned around and made it about the freaking Rock. Like, there was more about the Rock during Muhammad Ali's induction into the freaking Hall of Fame than there was about Muhammad Ali. They made it out to be, and I get it. I understand the relationship between The Rock and his family and the People's Champion thing or whatever, but giving The Rock that belt as the People's Champion during a time when he is heel and the people don't care about it, yeah, you could say, well, it's ironic, you know, blah, blah,
Well,
blah,
I thought
blah,
it was playing
that's
up the
fine.
storyline
But
for
no.
that too, because he came out with that belt.
But I'm sorry, that was dumb. It was so stupid that he came out with that freaking belt like it was a freaking real title. It would be just like me walking to the ring with this. It doesn't mean anything.
But see,
it's not a real title.
It fits the character though, because he's egocentric.
It was dumb.
It's like the $1 Million Man. It's like the $1 Million Man with the belt, or Taz with the FTW Championship.
What's that?
Or Taz with the FTW Championship.
Oh, yeah, that. But see, $1 Million Man, though, I feel like was even different because, like, the $1 Million Man, his whole thing was I'm going to make a $1 million belt, right? Like, I'm going to be the $1 million champion. And even though it wasn't, like, a real thing, like, they pushed that in storyline as, like, that was a thing. You know what I mean? Like, the belt meant something. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody took that belt, it would have meant something. And it did. On different occasions when people either stole the belt or had the belt or whatever, you know, the $1 million belt. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like that, like, I'm sick of seeing The Rock get accolades. And I'm sick, and everybody's been going on about how great The Rock's heel run was here. Yeah, when The Rock was actually acting like a heel. But there were way too many times during this run where he's telling especially when he was in Memphis, telling the crowd that he loves them and smiling ear to ear and like, you know, and all that stuff. Choose your lane, man. Are you a heel or are you everybody's best friend? You know, are you the people's champ or are you the final boss? Because those two aren't the same. You know, those are two different sides of a character. And I really felt like there were a couple of times during this run where Rock had not yet committed to just being heel. You know, like he still wanted to hold on to a little bit of that, you know, fan goodness. You know,
it's The Rock. He's a part of the board, so he could do whatever he wants, I guess.
I mean, with the concert, I understand that. But like outside of that, I can't really think of any other times where he felt like a babyface or he wasn't heel enough, because he was freaking insulting everybody, cursing up the storm, insulting the audience. Outside of that one concert, he was going full in like "fuck you," all this other stuff. Like,
yeah.
So it's like,
but he kind of took it all away. Didn't you feel though that he kind of took that all away by like what he did that night?
Well, no, because I also think this is another way of trolling Cody, because he's envious of like how Cody is so over with the crowd. But I think that was just to make a statement that like I'm more over than you are, bruh. I can get the crowd just as much as you can. So I felt like that was, you know. Now if he was doing that every night, I would be with you, you know, on that, like, oh, he doesn't feel heel enough. But like outside of that one night, he was fully bad guy, asshole, cursing up a storm, attacking people, all that other stuff. So that's why I personally didn't have as much of an issue with it. But I felt
like as it got up to right before WrestleMania, he had turned that corner. But there was a couple of times though that I felt like even outside of Memphis that like he said some things sometimes in the way that he addressed the crowd. It was almost like they were still, especially in the early days of it, like that they were testing the waters on that. You know what, Jimmy? That's a great point. They should have had Mama Rose slap him.
I was waiting for that to happen. Like I'm surprised he didn't do that. Or freaking Brandy slap him or something. I don't know.
Right, especially when The Rock started yelling at Mama Rhodes. You know, like. Mm-hmm. they should have probably, had that.
Probably The Rock didn't want to get smacked by an old lady. You know how The Rock is. He's too like The Rock is just judgmental,
They had
man.
Brandy come out when Rock was cutting the promo, being like, "Who the hell told you tonight was open mic night, bitch?" Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you guys think, though? And I guess we can close this out with this. But what do you guys think about like this new turn that WWE is taking, where we have they're playing a lot more loose with the PG thing,
I mean, they have the Netflix deal, so they could curse more, I guess.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
it's also...
but see, okay, so like my buddy here, Mike. So I don't think that that's true, though, Mike. That's the thing, is like I don't think that that's really going on, and from what I've seen and heard, and like if you watch all the interviews, like I watched the CM Punk interview, I've seen the stuff with The Rock, I've seen the stuff with Cody, I've seen, we've watched these people come out every week, and it's not just been in this in the main event thing. There were other people like who were using some language at some points, and it was a lot more intense. It wasn't that PG style thing. Obviously, The Rock took it to the next level, but that's also The Rock, right? So, are you guys digging that? Do you guys want to see more of that? Because I would like to see more realism, and I would like to see more seriousness in it like that. I hope that I never want it to get back to Attitude Era, where it's just like over sexualized.
Yeah, curse every day.
I think what they're doing is really, really good. Like, and Triple H specifically knows when to pull it back. Like, he knows to give the right amount of profanity, the right amount of edge. Like, he does a really good balancing act with that. And I'm with you. I don't want them to go full Attitude Era. In my opinion, my favorite era of WWE was the Ruthless Aggression era. Like, I felt that was a good balance between having the edge and still having stuff that could appeal to everyone almost. But yeah, what's frustrating about it, though, is that they're letting them be more loose with the script and be more edgy, but they still have to censor the show because it's still a PG show. So my thing is, if you're going to let them do this, you cannot be censoring that much. It's taken away from the storytelling. I will not take away from the storytelling, but it's taken away how it's being presented on
That's
TV.
the network, though. That's the network being.
I know. It's so frustrating that they still have to abide by this, but they still want to experiment with that. But it's just like, I think hopefully when the Netflix deal comes up, they're not going to be as constrained about it. But like right now, it's so frustrating that I like when they're being more edgy. I like when they're going off script. I like when they're just like improving, but then they technically still can't say whatever they want because it can bleeped out, or if something's on screen that they don't want people to see, like some certain signs or whatever, they'll just black out the screen. I'm like, dude. So yes, like we need to go back to TV-14, and it's not because we want to see blood, tits, and ass. It's just because, as you said, we'd like to see more realism with professional wrestling, and this is the way of showing that. This is a combat sports entertainment thing. You cannot make this a fully family friendly when it's a combat sports
I know.
company.
Thank you, DL. Like, that's the problem, right? Like, you're already watching people fake fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I say that tongue in cheek, because obviously I know the difference between calling it fake and the fact that it's the outcomes are predetermined. I get that. These guys are out there putting their lives on the line many times. I mean, and definitely their health and their well-being and stuff to do the things that they do. But at the end of the day, it's like we all know that, like, if RJ came up to me and like put his hand on my head and just went to go take a swing, at me, I would probably put my arm up and try to block him at least. And I wouldn't just sit there and like lean into it and get hit and then come back and hit him and then get hit again, and then so we're already suspending our disbelief.
Did they ever explain why they went?
Give us something that at least makes us feel like it's serious, and then it's not just childish,
I think they mainly went to PG because like they have sponsorships and kids do watch the show. Like they have like they have a bunch of like breast cancer and Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense.
that's
Yeah.
probably another reason why they were afraid to go super edgy with it. But like, they don't have to be this clean though. They're like I
I
said.
mean,
They're
if you want
balanced,
hardcore, if you want hardcore, badass, go watch the other company. That's pretty much.
Well, let's
That's one of
well
the
let's
things I
well,
love about AEW. Like
I mean, I
as
don't.
far as
Yeah.
scripting, like as far as storytelling, yeah, that's kind of questionable. But as far as like them like having promos and like not being constrained by being family friendly, like their promos feel more real and like than
Yeah,
WWE.
yeah. It's because
'Cause
it's
they're
run by
able
a
to say
billionaire
what
who
they want.
doesn't care. Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, it's run by a billionaire that's mostly stupid.
Damn.
So yeah, like I said, I think overall WrestleMania weekend was really done well. I think that it's a great launching point for whatever this new era is. I don't think that they should call it the Paul Levesque era.
No.
How'd you guys feel about it? Because I keep hearing Renaissance era. What did you guys think about
Yeah,
it?
the Renaissance era.
That's better. I would love that. I would be 100% good with that. That's what they should
That's
be
the
calling
one
it.
that
I wouldn't be surprised if they call that tonight. If they call it tonight, that I wouldn't be surprised.
The Renaissance era sounds a lot better.
Yep.
Oh, we kind of lost in there. Okay. All right. So,
I gotta jump on another stream though. But
were we hearing RJ there? Because I lost RJ. Did anybody
I
else
heard
hear
RJ. I heard RJ.
Okay. I lost RJ halfway through that. So
Am I
apologize,
lost
RJ.
inside the store? I need to go to the lock round.
That was all I had for today, except for this thing about
I'm
Robert
gonna
Downey
jump another
Jr.
stream, guys. I'll talk to
All
you
right,
guys.
buddy. We'll see you
Appreciate
later, DL. Check you later. You guys see this thing about how Robert Downey Jr. says he'd be more than willing to come back to the MCU?
Like no brainer.
Yeah, of course he's coming back. Yeah,
They have a giant Avengers multiverse movie coming out in a few years. Right?
Yeah, like why wouldn't he? Like people say, oh, he only film Twitter because film Twitter is stupid as hell. Cause he dissed the MCU. No, you don't know what his joking is. Like everybody that does the Oscars when they make the speech, they always joke around their past work. Oh, he's this and that. Like man, like of course, like it's no surprise. It's no surprise he's gonna come back. He will probably be the superior Iron Man, not the one that we know that died back in 2019. So yeah, I mean, I'll be up for it. I don't have
It's
much
just
better.
got to make sense.
Yeah,
It's
it's gotta
just
make
got to
sense.
make
Yeah.
sense. You know,
That's the reason why
I
you say
don't
Kevin
know.
Feige. Yeah, name.
I know that a lot of people would really like to see that, and
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they shouldn't have killed him off in the first place. But it is what it is. At this point. So
Yeah, I mean, whatever he comes back, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, obviously they have to say. I mean, it depends on what movie he will. I mean, obviously we probably come back in those Avengers movies, the Secret Wars one. So it gotta make sense of where he's gonna show up on and stuff. So we know the virgin of the 616 zones, Tony Stark is dead. So just depend on what are they gonna do.
I honest to God thought Anthony said the Virgin. I was like, what?
No.
Virgin Tony. I thought he said the
Virgin, no.
Tony Stark
No.
died. Like Tony Stark wasn't a virgin.
No. But no.
Yeah, I mean it's like you guys said, it's pretty much assumed with Secret Wars coming out, with all this other stuff going on. They've got an opportunity to bring him, probably Cap, back as well, and everybody, and it's gonna be the opportunity to get them to all interact with the Fox universe and with all Deadpool and all these other guys before they probably recast and reboot and do all that other stuff.
Like Hugh Jackman, when he was making those, I think Days of Future Past, like, yeah, I want to cross over with those Avengers people, with Robert Downey Jr. and everybody.
Oh yeah,
Well,
Jackson's been wanting to do that forever.
Yeah, he's been wanting to do that forever. So like him having the opportunity, him as with Toby.
I guarantee you, and I said this when it happened, I guarantee you it's a big reason why he came back in the first place.
Mhm.
That was probably part of the deal, was that Feige, I want to interact with the
At least
MCU.
one be an Avengers movie. Be with like the Avengers, yeah.
Yeah, because if
Or
you watch
even,
those days, yeah.
even if not, his Deadpool movie is set up in the multiverse, so even they could do it there. Like that I guarantee you that was probably the biggest reason why he came back to do it, was to get the chance to interact with those guys.
Yeah, like
one last
he got interact with Toby. Like he was supposed to show up in Spider-Man 2. Everybody know that he was supposed to show, and then the studio didn't have. Fox didn't have the suits ready. The leather
If he
suits.
interacts with Toby, I'll
Yeah.
freak out. I will freak out.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be childhood dreams coming true.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would be amazing. And then Wesley Snipes' Blade comes in. Oh my god!
Yeah, and then he's on the run for tax evasion. Oh.
And Thomas Jane's the Punisher, and I just basically explode in the theater. No.
They have Dolph Lundgren there. David.
And I think Love, him, it will come back because I think they've been wanting to come back for a long time, and him and John Berto are best friends, so I think them two are gonna come back. I would have loved to see Ray Stevenson, my rest his soul, to come back, but before he passed away, that would have been dope. But
Bring back the OG Fantastic Four too, man. That would be great.
No.
Have them interact with Toby and the X-Men.
2005 cast, yes, but they should also bring back the Roger Corman cast too.
Yes.
It's a little cameo.
Jesus, no.
It's not the Fantastic cast. They can.
I think they're gonna bring back Miles Taylor.
Could you imagine?
They could bring back Miles Taylor as the Thinker. What? No, and as what is the Reed Richards with the big damn, I forgot his name. Oh, I've seen fan casts of Miles Taylor with the multiverse. I forgot the Reed Richards and other characters in the multiverse.
Yeah,
but I mean, I would love to see Michael B. Jordan play Johnny. That was the only good part in the movie. His Johnny Storm, and that's it.
I think you mean the Maker, Anthony.
The Maker, yes, the Maker, yes. That's what everybody wants Miles Taylor to come back as the Maker, which makes sense because that universe is getting destroyed. And remember, those characters were supposed to show up in Deadpool 2 with the Fan Foster cast was supposed to show up in Deadpool 2 before.
I would only be okay if the Fan Four Stick showed up in Deadpool 3. If Deadpool shot every single one of them.
I don't know. I feel like because we know those Fantastic Four casts from the 2000s connected in the Fox universe. Fox even said themselves because they was gonna do a Civil War movie in 2009 and it didn't because
that's where you bring Deadpool in to just pull like the end of Deadpool 2. Just come in and accidentally, the fan they accidentally die. Accident
killed them.
And and oops, they're no longer canon.
If he comes back, great. If they have that moment, I mean, I think that they want to have that moment with everybody, and they want to give the fans all that, as long as it's done well.
Yes, I agree.
But sometimes don't always go so well.
Yeah, that's the reason why I think they're working hard. They haven't announced if those two Avengers movies will be delayed. Probably find out in the next D23 or Comic-Con this year.
Yeah.
So they haven't said if they haven't delayed those two because they have to recast Kang and then probably add another villain, probably from the Fox universe, my guess.
We are going to get a lot of news from D23 this year, and I'm sure Comic-Con too. Marvel.
I mean, Marvel could show.
I mean, more, and it's a good year for Marvel to do it, right? They've only got Deadpool and Wolverine coming out, so it's a quiet year for Marvel.
It's very quiet.
As long as it goes well, the hype, will be big for Wolverine and Deadpool, leading into wondering, right? Making the audience wonder, okay, what happens next? Leading into D23, where they announce a bunch of stuff and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, as long as there's no delays, Fantastic Four goes into production.
Yep.
And a couple of the other things that they have set up. But yeah, I mean, it's Marvel's really they got an opportunity here, and I hope they take it with Deadpool and Wolverine to bring some hype back with Fantastic Four. I think in the opportunity to set it in a different universe and kind of almost make your own Elseworlds
Story,
MCU
yeah.
movie and then end up connecting it in the end. You know, you have an opportunity to go stylistically different. You know, you don't have to refer to canon. You don't have to do all this other stuff. Like, there's a lot of opportunity right now Marvel has to bring back the hype and get themselves back in a place where everybody's excited for their movies again. But as most companies, as we know with Warner Brothers and others, we don't know that they'll take those opportunities. So we'll just have to see.
Right.
I did want to mention just real quick, if that was all. I know Nerd Coaster Nostra and Bradley and I all watched it, but if anybody has not seen the Maxine trailer, oh boy, am I excited!
I'm all in for that.
Have you not heard of the X trilogy?
The Ty West thriller, yeah.
Dude, Enoch. So it starts with X. You got to watch X, then you got to watch Pearl, and then this year the third one, Maxine, comes out.
Wait, what's
this?
It's a horror franchise.
It's a brand new horror franchise, and it's phenomenal. And it stars Mia Goth. She's like this insane. She's a bunch of different characters, but I don't want to give too much away because it's the better you go, the more you go into it blind, the better it is.
Wow, I know nothing about this.
They're both on.
I watched this.
Paramount. They're both on Paramount.
Paramount.
Okay.
Yeah, Paramount Plus, yeah.
Said it's X and then what?
Pearl.
Pearl's the second one.
Okay.
And they dropped the trailer today for the third one. It's called Maxine.
Oh.
Starring with Kevin
I like
Bacon
the vibe, how she's becoming an actress and stuff like that. And this,
I like that.
Killer.
I like the
Yeah.
serial killer edition.
The serial
I'm
killer
like,
vibe,
ooh,
yeah.
You know, the stuff about her past. There's well, I mean, you're gonna see the trailer anyways at some point. You know, but you know, little nod to a certain Alfred Hitchcock film, which was very interesting.
Well, I'll check that out then. X, Pearl, and Maxine. Okay. All right. I'm always looking for new stuff to watch, especially with Shayna, because I'm enjoying new experiences with Shayna. Yeah.
Oh, they're great date night movies.
Absolutely. We still haven't watched. Yeah.
You cut out.
Yeah, you cut out. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said we still haven't watched Winnie the Pooh.
Oh,
Well,
okay, yeah.
And I'm sure you haven't watched Mad Max Road Warrior.
Dude, you got to get on that before Furiosa, bro. Come on.
Okay. I will.
You got to prioritize. You got to start prioritizing.
I do. Speaking of prioritizing, we have been on for 1 hour and 38 minutes, and I do have things that I have to do tonight. But I did want to come on, and I did want to talk. I did want us to have a conversation about WrestleMania, and then that Robert Downey Jr. thing was just there. So, but hey, I learned something today, and so did you guys, hopefully. But I learned something today. I learned about a franchise that I knew nothing about, knew nothing about it even existed, and now I'm going to go check it out. So there you go. See, you can learn new things here at the Poindexter Lounge. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Very true.
I love it. Very, very. That being said, anybody got anything else or anything to promote right now?
That's pretty much it.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right, guys. Well, hey, I hate to cut this. I feel like I'm cutting it short, even at an hour.
No, that's good. I mean, it's been a great day so far.
Not much news. We got the Joker 2 trailer tomorrow. So
yeah, that's true. Tomorrow.
Oh boy,
they're gonna.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show.
I think we should let Nerd run tomorrow's show.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
There you go, bro. There you go. For sure, man.
That's like the very first thing I'm doing waking up tomorrow. It better be dropped. If not, I'm gonna literally. It's gonna be one of those refresh.
I wonder what time is.
It could be one of two things.
WB panel.
Yeah, they're going to be their panel. It's more than likely going to drop at their panel for CinemaCon, which is more than likely in the afternoon, or at nighttime.
And that gives me all day to watch the first one 2 or 3 times. Easy.
What?
And prepare.
I missed it. What?
The Joker trailer.
Oh, it comes out tomorrow. That's right.
Yeah.
Tomorrow should be interesting.
Todd Phillips, Joker 2. And then probably get a third movie by the end of this year.
Oh God.
All right. Well, hey guys, thank you guys for being here. Tomorrow should be interesting.
Peace.
Should be an interesting show then, because if we got the Joker trailer, it's either going to be good or
it's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad, and I will share my feelings on it. And I'm sure Third Coast Nostra will share his feelings on it. We'll all share our feelings on it, and hopefully it's not like this.
My minute basis, like to the point where I do, it's like.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Stay right there. What are you doing? Okay, well, stay over there. You don't just get in somebody else's lane, sir. Thank you.
That is, he does.
You're in this lane. You're not. That's right. One lane.
Literally me.
My
Fast
lane,
and
not
Furious
yours.
pre-cut. Live. Fast and Furious.
I love that.
That's Enosh yelling at. That's Enosh yelling at Todd Phillips.
Right.
Right.
What are you doing, sir?
What are you doing? What are you doing, man? You're making a musical out of the Joker, and it's not even a real musical. It's a jukebox musical, and yeah. Okay. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, which, by the way, I got to say, I don't think that I had ever heard the term jukebox musical.
Oh, yeah.
Until this. And then it was funny because I think I've heard it like 4 times about other things since.
Yeah, right now, then they announced right after they're making a Jukebox Prince musical or something. Jukebox Prince, and like all this other stuff.
Whatever. Anyways, don't let anybody tell you that your fandom doesn't matter. Don't tell anybody that their fandom doesn't matter, but seek to have good conversations. And if you do that, treat everybody with respect. There'll always be a place for you here in the Poindexter Lounge. Until next time, stay nerdy. The story is finished. Raw is going to be off the chain.
Yes,
We'll see you next time.
More Snoop Dogg commentary.
That was the best.
That was funny.
Dude, okay, we can.
I'm sorry. I was out. I was totally gone. And then you got to say Snoop Dogg commentary.
Dude.
Dog on the mic was amazing, by the way.
And I love how one of the first things that, dude, he started cussing. He said the N-word so fast. As soon as that one dude ran up and smacked, he's like, oh, hey, play. And I was like, oh, my God. We're on live TV, Snoop.
Right. Well, and then they're like, well, and that's the only drink you've had today, right? And
he's like, no. Way, and then the way he's like, I'm gonna go. I'll be back in an hour 15. I'm gonna smoke some. I was like, God.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. We got to go. But Paul Heyman talking about smoking pot at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that became a meme already. You know that, right? It became a meme already.
That was just brilliant. But he's like, the rest of the stash is in the car. Like, what? And RVD, talking about RVD lighting up over and over and over again. That was hilarious. I loved it. But anyways, hey, stay nerdy, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Peace up.